Well, hello everybody, and welcome to episode 31 of the Let's Play World. Today we're going to go explore the end, but before we go, I want to show you a few preparations I've made and a little bit of work I've done on the end portals. So as far as preparations, one, I'm wearing my iron armor. That way if something catastrophic happens, I won't lose all my good gear. Number two, there's a couple things I want to bring. One of them is a lot of blocks. We will likely do a lot of pillaring, and I want to make sure we've got blocks. The other thing is food. There's not a lot of food to be found in the end, and so I want to bring some of that with me. Third thing is, we might run into some shulkers, and it's a good idea to bring a shield with us. And lastly, we'll likely find some cool stuff, but we'll be very, very far away from base, so I'm going to bring an empty ender chest. That way I can load it up with stuff that we might find. Got that soul speed on my boots. In the portal room, I've started tearing out the wall in preparation for redesigning this space. And on the other side, I've started to put some blocks in here to create that sci-fi modern vibe. I've begun work on the hallway just to try out some different designs, and I think I'm going to use the smooth stone and the iron blocks primarily on this hallway. Still working out patterns and stuff like that. Also did some work on this portal. Got the room all sealed in. Went with another brightly colored concrete. So again, I think it looks kind of spacey, kind of sci-fi. Pretty cool. All right, push the button, walk in, get squished, in we go. So now we just start walking. So the two most immediate dangers are the void and the enderman. So super important to keep your head down, and super important to make sure you don't walk off of an edge or inadvertently stumble into a ravine. All right, this is where it gets terrifying. Oof. Oh man. So I don't have a real detailed plan. I'm just sort of walking in a straight line as much as I can from the portal. I'll probably go for 1,000 blocks and then go over a little bit and come back and see how we do. So this is something that is kind of nice. Up here, there is another end gateway. And if I was to jump into this gateway, it'll take us back to the main island. So, I've probably walked a couple thousand blocks now, and, it'd be a little tricky to find my way back. Fortunately, I don't have to. All I need to do is get back to one of these, and this will get us back home. It's so easy to get turned around here. You can't tell north from south. There's no sunset. Clouds aren't moving in a certain direction. It's pretty crazy. There's another end gateway over there. That's pretty awesome. So we, again, don't have to walk all the way back to that other one. We've got one right here. So I've already run through all those blocks that I brought. Still haven't found an end city, which is a little depressing because not all end cities are very good. Some of them are bigger than others or have better loot. So it's totally possible we could find a end city that's kind of lousy. So we'll just keep going. Well, I walked like 6,000 blocks and I finally found one. And like I was saying, this one is not a very interesting one. It's just a single tower. Sometimes you see them with branches and different things, but it's definitely going to have loot in it, so we're going to investigate. So one thing I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to set up a little area here in case I need to hide from the Enderman. And I'm going to park my Ender chest here as well. Let me clarify when I say I walked 6,000 blocks. This is kind of what the end looks like, and the center is where the dragon fight happens, and then the gateway portal transports you somewhere out to this ring. Basically what I've done is I've sort of moved from the ring outward in this sort of back and forth pattern. If you respawn the dragon, which is totally possible, and you kill it again, you get a second end gateway, and you can do it a third time and a fourth time. I can't remember the total times you can do it. It's like 10 or 12, and you end up with a ring of end gateways all the way around the main island. I figured we might as well start at the one gateway and work our way out. So that's what I've been doing. So the end cities are made out of a little bit of end stone and a lot of this stuff that's called purpur. You can craft purpur if you take the chorus fruits and you bake them. You can combine them to make more purpur blocks. So we'll pick up some of those. And then these little white rods out here are what are called end rods. They are a really cool light source, so we'll want to get as many of those as we can. The primary antagonist here are what are called shulkers. And there's two of them right out front here. One right there, one right there. These guys, they teleport just like everything else in the end does. And they shoot these projectiles that are pretty problematic. That's what I brought the shield for. And that's what the projectile does. It makes you float. So fortunately, I've got them fighting each other now. Oh, here comes another one. So there's a couple ways to deal with shulkers. One of them is just hit them with a sword. The other thing you can do is wait till they open and then shoot them with an arrow. All right, this is the loot part of the adventure. Pretty good stuff. A little bit of gold, a saddle, and then 3 pieces of diamond enchanted armor. Protection 4, mending, and thorns. That's pretty great. Protection 3, protection 4, unbreaking, and mending. Really, really great armor. In here, protection 3, unbreaking 3, a couple of diamonds, a little bit more gold. Protection 4 and Depth Strider. projectile protection. Pretty sweet gear. The other thing that I'm really excited to get are shulker shells. Whenever we kill one of those shulkers, they drop some shells, and I'll show you what those are for a little later. The end rods are out here as well, so to get a little bit adventurous here. Alright, we didn't totally strip this thing, but we got all of the end rods. I collected a little bit of purple, and we got all the loot. So, onward and forward. So feeling pretty good about that first haul, although it wasn't a very big end city. Hopefully we'll find more. Sometimes they're really close together, sometimes they're really far apart, you just never know. Oh, I see one on the horizon. Oh, yep, this is what we came for. The boat. The boat has great stuff, so we're definitely going up there. What a weird, small end city again. That's so bizarre. Like I said, usually they're very tall and lots of branches and stuff. A couple of small ones right in a row. Well, cool, I'm glad we found a boat. Very excited about that. Alright, building my little Enderman hideout again. There's been so many times where I've accidentally run into an Enderman and died right outside one of these things, so not today. Alright, let's see how this one goes. In the middle of most end cities are these kind of tricky staircases, and it's real hard to jump up them without, falling every once in a while. One really simple trick is if you just put a block in every corner, it makes like a perfect staircase. So there you have it. Nice. Sometimes when the end cities are very tall, these boats can be way up there. But this one is relatively low to the ground, so I think we're just going to try and pillar straight up to it. Alright, up here on the boat, we'll grab these guys. Then at the front of the boat is a little prize. The dragon head. Let's see if we can grab that. Nice. And then we want to go below deck. Below deck, we've got a couple of potions, and then there's going to be one shulker. There he is. Nice. And then down here is what we've come for, the Elytra. In here we've got a smite sword, some gold, and a saddle. And in here we've got a really cool iron pickaxe, a great diamond sword, and a diamond pickaxe. Some emeralds and some beetroot seeds for some reason. Alright, that's another end city down. Well, now that we have Elytra, the end will be much easier to explore because we can fly from island to island rather than pillar across. So that will be a good thing to do. And I've been wandering a really far way. I'm super glad to see one of these things. Pooh, we're back. So we went pretty far. Just for reference, the first tower that we went to was at coordinates negative 1800, negative 1800, and then the second end city that I found was at negative 1500, negative 2100. So they're really far out there, really few and far between. So I'm glad we found something. So we get to start another new section of storage, our purple blocks. And let me show you how much loot we got from those two tiny end cities. This is everything. So a bunch of armor, some shulker shells, some elytra, a dragon head, a bunch of nice tools, some diamonds and emeralds, a bunch of gold, some purple blocks, some potions, and 54 end rods. That is a pretty awesome haul for two teeny tiny end cities. Granted, it was a lot of walking, a lot of pillaring, a lot of fighting, but well worth it. So if you don't know what the big deal is about shulker shells, you can take a couple of shulker shells and a chest and create what's called a shulker box. Now a shulker box works very much like a chest. I can put things inside of it, like so. But the magic thing is I can pick this up and take it with me. And then when I put it back down, all of that stuff is still in there. And we got enough to make 9 shulker boxes. And what's super cool is you can dye them. And that way you can identify them and be able to tell what's inside of them. For example, the red one, I could load up with all of my redstone stuff. And that way I know where it's at. I can even rename it. Redstone box. We can dress up more of our armor stands. We got a new head for our wall. We have another banner for our collection. The only 2 enchantments you can put on Elytra are Mending and Unbreaking. So that is what we are going to do. Let's see if I remember how to make rockets. I think it's just gunpowder and paper? Yep. So that's a flight duration 1. Flight duration 2. Flight duration 3. That's right. Well, since we don't have a ton of gunpowder yet, we are going to just go with the flight duration 1. Well, I've got my wings. I've got my rockets. Let's give this a shot. So good. So good to have wings. It's such a different perspective on everything when you can get up this high. So cool. So this will make getting around and exploring and doing construction so much easier. Plus, we can get back up to the top of our base. We can get a bird's eye view on some of our projects. Very, very cool. Very excited about this. And I think that's where we're going to wrap it up today. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe if you want to follow along on the adventure. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.